Alright, so pedoey CIA sealers for cop gang. Alright, so most of these deputy gangs, they get the S&M cochlear implant speakers. They do. Most people in like the really expensive. It's a separate one. The cop one's separate. But it's like a high-priced hookup site that everybody gets the cochlear implant speakers in. And so Cop Gang has their own separate one. So then they have pedoey CIA sealers. And so essentially in an older theoretic, like 1960s style CIA, they used to have these Catholics that were reformed pedophiles that would essentially be bitches that would do intelligence analysis for CIA agents in the field. And that it would operate out of Mason lodges and also Catholic churches. So that theoretic is essentially the theoretical idea of what they use. So essentially, Cop Gang, these people will essentially be like, so the CIA, they go to a place, they find indigenous personnel or indigenous people, and they attempt to build a militia. Okay, so these would be where they attempt to build embedded intelligence agents. And so those people are like AA members and sleazy S&M clubbers and rock stars in this modern way, okay? So then Cupids, which is like church, it's like high school students. And a lot of times they're still infatuated with this pedo ceiling shit. It's on the camera eyes and shit. And in the speakers, a lot of times they still do it, even, but most of it's like pedophiles that get found that are church members by these cop gangs, and then they have to be part of intelligence, or they essentially they they give them advisement in the speakers, and they see their camera eyes and shit. So then it's pedoey wieners in seminary. So that's like the Mormon kids that are in high school, and then they get infatuated with it, and then they still end up doing it and stuff after high school. But essentially, these are like the same. This is what I call Cactus Buddha, E-free, and that then this is Mormon seminary pedoey wieners. Okay, so then it's like, for this one, it was like cops or people that were like staffers for congressmen and stuff like that. And that they're like soft and nice and unsuspecting kind of people. And that then these ones are similar there, but they're usually Mormon. So it's like, and that then they have these guys that are from 1990s classes. They wear a pedo suit. They wear a white shirt, indigo straight leg jeans, black shoes, black dress shoes. They usually have like a gold bracelet or like a gold chain and shit. They usually have some sort of beard of some sort. And so those are what are called zero time 90s pedo munchers. Okay? And then there'll be cops. There'll be cops that internally, on their free time, they essentially pedo seal, or some call it cucking. And what that means is it gets more advanced. If they have VR goggles, they'll see out of the eyes and stuff. And they'll be advising them in speakers as they're interacting as police officers, okay? And that is like, those ones do, like, these ones, like when they're like being a gang, like when they're ripping off drug dealers, these ones orchestrate that type of stuff. They're, they all have their, they all have to do timed or appointment access to the cop gangs in the field, basically. So essentially, they utilize the same idea at a target. These people work in two ways. If this cop is doing the cop gangs, speakers, or whatever, then this group will be doing the targets, speakers, and they'll be attempting to psych op this person into crime or entrapments. And a lot of times they target people with speakers. They do. Most of it, the drug world also has the cochlear implant speakers and camera eyes, and that is what this team will be targeting that person, and that then if this team is helping the cop gang, the cops, then these groups will be psychoping, and that it works in this way. And so then these people, these are like the hypnotist groups that like to surround the target, and then they like to psych off the target in the field as like a separate misdirected side team for the cop gang. And essentially all these people have a blackmail that's collected by the S&Ms that the cops own in their cop gang world. And so that is why everybody's a part of one integrated group that has a target, and then they target the person, okay? And that then, if a CIA agent comes in under official cover or non-official cover into the region, then they activate, these cop gangs activate this stuff, because essentially the cop gangs know that the only reason that these people would even be doing some sort of mission inside of a county or something, these cop gangs already know that the only reason they would be doing that is because of what the cop gang's doing. And so then they treat them as a targeted, like, drug gang person or something. And then they essentially, when it comes to this, if they can't blackmail them into silence about everything, or internalizing them into it, then they do this. The most patriotic QAnon Tea Party thought ever created. Now, these people will basically be in the Tea Party. The most patriotic thing the Tea Party could ever create. And that, if you know anything about this word, Valerie Plame, where a bunch of conservatives outed her as an official cover agent to show their patriotism